Alright, so in this video we're going to take a look at the behavioral simulation. The reason why we want to do the behavioral simulation is that when we've written some pieces of code, then sometimes we want to simulate them to see whether they work as intended. So here I have 3 different pieces of code, and so if we, for example, want to simulate the counter to see if it works as intended, then we go under the simulation sources, we right click on the counter, and then we set it as top. Now Vivado is going to be updating for some time, as usual, and then when it's finished, we'll see that the counter is marked with bold. That indicates that it's now on top. So that's what we're going to be simulating. So we're going to go under simulation now, and then we're going to press run simulation and run behavioral simulation. Again, Vivado is going to be doing some Vivado stuff, taking some time, and then we'll wait for that. Now that Vivado's finished thinking, we will then open the simulation window over here, and then we can see that we have our inputs. We have 3 inputs, then we have an output, an internal signal, and then we have a generic value. So we want to now give the input some values. The counter will force as a clock. We'll set the leading edge to 1 and the trailing edge to 0. That just means whatever it's going to start with. Doesn't really make a difference. Then we can set the period. We can set some offsets and so on. We're not going to do that now. So now we force the clock. We'll force the reset to 0, and we'll force the enable to high. So when we now want to run the simulation, we can then see up here we have a value for how long we're going to run the simulation, which is now 500 nanoseconds, and then we'll press this button here to actually start running the simulation. So now we'll just zoom to fit or zoom out, whichever one you prefer, and then we can see that our counter is then incrementing the output here on every rising edge, which is as intended. So we can see that our piece of code actually works as intended.